Hi gorgies, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking everything brows. I mean, gone are the days when we would have our brows like this. Sis, it's a mess. Why are you doing this? Please guys, man, those days are gone. We are so above that, you know. Let's do better. Let me take this off. While I take this off, guys, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so right now so that you won't miss out on any of our content. And I really hope you guys have been enjoying the videos so far. I'm really making an effort to post as often as I possibly can so that you guys always stay entertained. So don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to comment down below if you enjoy it. And also, if you have any questions on how I do my brows, feel free to go down to the comment section and ask your question. Let's get straight into it, guys. I'm going to show you the products that I use and how I do my brow. Now that that whole mess is wiped off, I'm going to zoom you guys in so the focus will be on my eyebrows. First up, we're going to use our Benefit Gimme Brow Volumizing Fiber Gel. This literally helps to give you some volume. I don't have the shade number, but it's a very light brown, so you basically can't see it. The gel just literally helps the hairs to stay in place, and it also coats the hair from strand to strand, giving it that bit more of color and also giving your brows a bit more volume. I usually put this on and then I leave it for about 2 minutes just so all of the brow hairs are standing, and by the time I push them all down, they're literally nicely coated and they look nice and thick. Also, something you guys should know is that I don't tweeze or shape my brows, which is why it's very important for me to do this step, because it helps to define where my brows start and where my brows end. Next up, we're using the Anastasia brow gel. This is more of a darker brown than the one that we used before. I like this one also because it brings a bit more color. As you can see, I didn't push down the brows after I used the Benefit Gimme Brow Gel, so this also just helps to add an extra layer to my brows and make them nice and darker, and also just coat each and every strand. What I do now is I start pushing them down, and you can see that each strand is coated in the color, and now it will give me a nice shape that I'm able to just quickly define and work with. Now that I've established the shape that I want, I'm going in with my eyeliner, which is way darker, and I'm just lightly going over the natural shape of my brow to accentuate that. And as I go over the natural line, I'm also going in downward strokes to fill in the gaps to where I feel like the brow looks lighter and needs a little bit more color. The trick here is to have very light, to apply light pressure in the beginning, and then as you go along to the edge of the brow, then you start putting a little bit more pressure to make it a little bit darker, but you don't want darkness right at the beginning of the brow. I always extend a line underneath my brows where I will do light strokes upwards, just to also fill in the front of my brow and to also make it look a little bit more, you know, poppin', slaying. Next up, we're going to take our spoolie and we're just literally going to blend all of that in, because we don't want the harsh lines from the actual eyeliner, and we just want everything to look seamless and to blend in properly so that we can have a nice flawless brow. You'll also notice that I have a trick that I do. I push up the brows in the beginning of my actual brow and I push down towards the end, and I'm trying to create the illusion of those, you know, streaks, but just with my own brows, and also because I have filled in below. Next up, we take our concealer brush. This is a flat brush. We're going to use it to apply our concealer. I'm using my Fenty Beauty concealer in the shade 255. I'm going to apply that on my hand generously, and then we'll go ahead and shape our brows. When it comes to shaping my brow, I go on in slight tapping motions because I know if I go straight in one line, I will definitely mess up that brow. So I'm basically doing light tapping motions, and I continue going back and forward, connecting those lines together to shape my brow properly to the exact shape that I want. And I'm going over the natural shape of my own brow. When I have established the shape I want, then I grab my concealer brush and I go straight through just to make sure that I don't have streaks or any unevenness in my brow, and I just make sure that I clean it up nicely afterwards and look at whether this is the kind of shape that I want. Don't worry if you make mistakes in this step because you can always fix it in the end. Also, if you don't want an halo brow, or you have a darker skin tone, you definitely do not want to use your lighter concealer at the top of your brows. You would rather use your foundation shade because that'll make it look more natural and it'll blend in better with your skin. So I definitely advise that. I'm only using this because when I do put on my foundation, this blends in with my foundation color. Right now, we're repeating the same process on the other brow. And ladies, I know this is always a problem, but listen, we're aiming for sisters, not twins. It's okay if they're sisters and not twins, as long as you're not going far down the family tree and making them cousins, okay? Some days you'll get sisters, some days it'll be really good and you'll get twins. But today, let's at least aim for sisters, okay? So you'll keep going back on the other brow based off of what the one brow looks like as well, and just make them look like sisters. You know, if you can, possibly, if you're reaching for the stars, then twins it is, sis, twins it is. So right now you can go back in, fix the other brow, constantly go back in with your concealer, just, you know, shape what needs to be shaped, hide what needs to be hidden. Now I'm just grabbing that Anastasia brow gel that I used initially, and I'm going back into my brow to fill in and fix where I think I might have gone a little bit too much with the concealer, because I don't like that thin brow look. I'm obviously trying to achieve a thick look, thick, full, and here to slay. Now that I got my brows to look like sisters, I'm going back in with a fluffy brush and I'm just basically blending that concealer in. As you can see, it's super dry. I'm using the Fenty one and it dries really quickly. So I'm doing a big blending job right here, right now. And yeah, if you're using your foundation, this would be much easier because then you just put on your foundation at the top and you wouldn't need to blend in so much. I also do blend in there by the middle of my brows to make sure that there isn't that line that everyone seems to like. I don't know why people do that, but I don't like that line. So I always go back in and I lightly brush over it. I also brush over the beginning of my brows, just so they can have a bit of a transition from light to dark. That is it, gorgies. That is my simple brow tutorial. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Love you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.